All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning, and thanks for listening in. This is the All You Need to Know podcast on Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 22nd of October. A day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi advocated increased caution heading into the festive season, India added over 50,000 new COVID-19 cases yet again. That takes the total tally to over 76 lakh. But active cases continue to remain below the 8 lakh mark. In fact, now they've fallen to 7.4 lakh. In regulatory news, the Reserve Bank of India has identified 5 sectors to which banks can lend using funds from an on-tap liquidity facility. The targeted long-term repo operation is the third such facility introduced to provide long-term funding to banks to spur lending. The sectors include agriculture, agri-infrastructure, secured retail, MSMEs, and drugs, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare. Banks can borrow funds from the facility to purchase bonds, commercial paper, NCDs of companies in the sectors, and unlike previous rounds of the TLTRO, this time banks can also lend using these funds. Now, on to something that will impact the cost of food most of you are going to be putting on your tables. The government yesterday relaxed import norms till the 15th of December to facilitate the early shipment of onion to boost the domestic supply and check retail prices. The Union Consumer Affairs Ministry in a statement said that it will also offload more onion from its buffer stock in the open market to contain the price rise. In more regulatory news, SEBI has imposed a penalty of a little more than 31 crore rupees on Kirloskar Brothers promoters and others for insider trading and for committing fraud. The case pertains to trades made in 2010. The entities have been barred from the capital markets for periods ranging between 3 months and 6 months. Of the total, 16.6 crore rupees is ill-gotten wealth, along with 4% interest, and the rest is a penalty. In corporate news, Nestlé's India business has reported a mid-single-digit growth in the Indian market in the July to September quarter, helped by Maggi, Nescafe, and KitKat. Overall, the South Asian market has continued to perform well, according to the Swiss company that said this on Wednesday in a post-earnings statement. In international news, US officials have warned that Iran and Russia have attempted to interfere with the presidential election in that country that's now only days away, allowing the spread of false information. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe said in a press conference yesterday evening that it had been confirmed that some voter registration information had been obtained by Iran and by Russia, and that this data can be used to attempt to convey misinformation. In more international news, Pope Francis has called for civil unions for gay couples in what would be a significant shift for the Catholic Church and its long-held opposition to homosexuals getting married. In international markets, US stocks ended a volatile session slightly lower as the White House and Democrats neared an aid deal, but signaled that it's unlikely to come in before the election. Treasury yields climbed and the dollar retreated. The two averages ended between 0.2% and 0.33% lower. And equities in the Asia-Pacific region are lower at the start, with all three early risers losing over 0.5%. And with that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Hormuz. How are we looking at the start today?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to our listeners as well. If you have been missing the roller coaster rides in amusement parks due to various restrictions, do not look any further. Just look at the Nifty Bank chart post 1 p.m. yesterday, and it will give you the exact same feels. The index fell over 700 points from the day's high and then recovered most of it to end with gains of over 300 points. Today is also the weekly options expiry session. On to specific stocks then. We are strongly and steadily coming back to growth. Now, investors of Bajaj Finance can take some heart from these comments made by the company's managing director Rajiv Jain on the company's analyst call. Jain also said that while its credit card business is back to nearly 75% of its pre-COVID levels, it may need another partnership along with the one it currently has with RBL Bank in order to become a dominant player in the market. Now, an increase in provisioning at Bajaj Finance led to Bajaj Finserv's net profit dropping 18% in the September quarter. While gross premiums for the general insurance business was lower, new business premium for the life insurance division rose 11% as compared to last year. GMM Pfaudler's board has approved creation of a pledge over the entire 54% shareholding proposed to be held by the company and Mawag AG in GMM International. The company reported a 22% growth in revenue for the September quarter, led by the glass-line equipment and the proprietary products business. Among other stocks that will be reacting to results include Tejas Networks, which returned to profitability in the September quarter with the order book swelling to 600 crore rupees. The company has guided for further improvement in its financial performance in the second half of FY21. JK Tyres, which said that its replacement market is doing better than the industry and it can achieve healthy sales in this segment. The company reported export sales of over 300 crore rupees during the quarter. Syngene, where revenues were higher compared to the previous year, while higher taxes resulted in a decline in net profit during the quarter. The company's forex gains during the quarter doubled as compared to last year. And Sagar Cements, where realizations were up over 20%, while the company's EBITDA per ton more than doubled as compared to last year. Two nifty companies, Asian Paints and Bajaj Auto, will be reporting their results most likely during trading hours today itself. Non-index names reporting results that you should be watching out for include Biocon, Ambuja Cements, Bharti Infratel and HDFC AMC. Aside of earnings, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has reduced his holding in Federal Bank by close to 0.5% as per the lender's latest shareholding pattern. Data indicates that he sold close to 1 crore shares during the September quarter. Hindustan Copper will be holding a board meeting on the 29th of October in order to consider raising funds through a QIP, so watch out for the reaction in that stock. And in a large deal, Plutus Wealth Management has acquired over 90 lakh shares or a 7.5% stake in Greenply Industries on Wednesday at 75 rupees a share. The share ended close to 7% higher on Wednesday. Some buzzing stocks from yesterday's session, and real estate stock seems to be on a tear at the moment. Godrej Properties is the one that I would like to highlight. The stock gained 11.5% yesterday, the most in over 6 months, to end at the highest level since February this year. This was the 4th straight day of gains for the stock. JSW Steel ended higher for the 7th straight day on Wednesday at its highest level in nearly 2 years. And to end with an underperformer, after a strong run recently, Amber Enterprises fell over 8% yesterday, its biggest drop in over 6 months. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty indicate that the index is trading 40 points lower, around the mark of 11,920. And as I mentioned earlier, today is the weekly options expiry session, so do check out the FNOQs and a lot more in our All You Need to Know copy. With that, I wish you a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz, and as always, thank you all for listening in. That's all we have for you on this podcast, but as always, there's a lot more on the website bloombergquint.com, so don't forget to check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.